We good?
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm ready.
Do the 3, 2, 1 play.
3, 2.
Fuck's sake.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah. So we kind of just have a chit-chat, casual chit-chat.
Yeah?
Basically ignore Reese's there in a nice way.
Please do.
Yeah.
Do I look at you or the camera?
Yeah. You can, yeah. I think if we go for like chatting to us, but if you want to direct anything towards the camera, we'll...
Yeah, last hit. Yeah, it's coming through. And that didn't peak.
That did peak. That was great.
Wow.
Great.
I think we should get some like pig squirrels in here.
Nah, Fraser wouldn't let me. Fraser has to rein me in when it comes to gutturals. Like, actually.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool. We're gonna do a big clap in 3, 2, 1.
That was a good clap.
That was clean.
We're just gonna kick things off by addressing the elephant in the room with the EP. It's coming out in November.
Yeah, yippee!
Let's
You've got
go.
2 singles out already?
Yep.
Yep.
What was the process behind picking that track list?
God. Okay, so the track list, we argued for ages about which order the songs should go in because, like, so Crestfallen in particular was like, Fraser wanted it as a middle part, but I wanted it as like a penultimate track kind of thing, but we've sort of settled on it being like the middle part of the EP because it's like, where, in terms of how music is released now, it's like it's more viable to put out like almost the entire project as singles and then the EP comes out and it's like there's only 2 things left on it or whatever. But it sort of puts the other 2 that aren't out yet back to back and sort of gives listeners that last little bump of like, oh, this is new kind of thing to sink their teeth into on the butt end of it. But
On the butt end of it.
I'm Not Safe in My Space was like the 3rd song we wrote.
Yeah, I'm Not Safe in My Space was quite a bit earlier than everything else that's on the EP. It's kind of fun to have seen that one come back and then become like the lead single for the EP. It was a really kind of cool process to go back and realize like, oh, this is actually, we kind of did something there. Especially since the other song we recorded during that time period, Pins and Needles.
Oh god, yeah, no, there's a bunch of random like little like B-sidey bits that will never see the light of day, don't try. That we're just kind of not happy with. Like, we used to have an hour-long set, dude. I can't do an hour-long set again, that was fucking tiring.
We jump around a lot more now, so it just wouldn't be possible.
But Not Safe in My Space, we wrote like as like our 3rd song or some shit like that, and I remember we were settling it for like 2.5 years before it came out in like May or whatever this year, and for ages I was really bored of it because I was just like, we were opening it at every show and just like that, and then Fraser was telling me like, this has got to be the lead single, it's got like the catchiest like chorus in it, it's got the looping guitar line that gets like stuck in heads, and like it's the good tone setter and stuff like that. And since it's released, I sort of view it in a different way and I appreciate it a lot more for what it is, which is cool. Isaac Ape, I got nothing. It's just a weird song.
Isaac Ape. I think it was cool that we were able to lead with I'm Not Safe in My Space because, like you've been saying, I really like grew to appreciate that one in retrospect, but also it's kind of our most normal song. Like, all of my friends who aren't really into metal or emo or anything like that, they liked that one. And Isaac Ape starts kind of normal.
Yeah.
And then it gets very, very freaky. And that was, yeah, we've been trying to kind of drip feed people with the most accessible version of ourselves to get people more engrossed into what we're doing. And I think especially the stuff we've left on the EP that isn't singles is a lot of the stuff that goes craziest on the entire album.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for people to hear
Who
it.
sort of like takes the lead on the writing? Does anyone specifically, or what was your process like for writing them as well?
So for the first couple of singles, so for Isaac Ape and Not Safe, those we wrote before Fraser actually joined the band, and ever since Fraser's joined the band, they've been a very driving force in terms of helping. They're sort of like, I bounce off of them a lot for like they have to rein me in when I get too silly, but also in terms of like the structural soundness of the songs, they're really good at making them feel like songs and not just roller coasters of random different sections. It sort of keeps it coherent. But ever since they've been in the band, I've been putting the bass way higher in the mix in the middle because their bass tone and their bass like noodles and rhythms and stuff like that are really fun. Especially with like the latter two songs on the track list that aren't singles. The Skin Caves in. And that which looms over me. Skin Caves In was mainly written by Stan.
Yeah.
And then I just added like vocal melodies to it and stuff. And then Looms was also kind of written by Stan initially, but it had this weird inaccessible dissonance section in the middle that we had to like gut out, and then we replaced it with a breakdown, and then live we bring it back slower, but on the record we don't, so you have to see us live if you want to hear it slower.
This is true. I will add with that which looms over me, you can tell it was written by a drummer by that guitar part in the verses.
Yeah,
You'll know when it comes out. That is something only a drummer would write. It's actually really fun to play, so I'm very glad he did that.
Yeah, so much of that song is pushed. Like when you're trying to play to a click with that song, it's like, where am I?
I suppose it's quite good to mention actually. So you've got some physical media coming out. You've got some CDs
Yes.
that are being created. So the CDs also contain 2 bonus tracks.
Yes.
Right? One live
Mm-hmm.
and one acoustic.
Yes.
From what I recall. Nice. And they're 50% sold out. Congrats.
Well, there's 2 left as of recording this.
Sweet.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
2 left on the pre-order as of recording this, so if any of you guys want one, I would still like yeah. There's your
I'm
chance.
such
Yeah.
an acoustic version.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're kind of like blown away because considering like how T-shirts sell on Bandcamp and stuff, we did not anticipate the CDs would go as quickly as they did, which is really cool because we're really happy with how they turned out. I want to give a shout out to Starlight Records who helped us put them together and like assemble them, ordering in the inserts and getting them burned and stuff. It was homemade, but still like we had like this professional like workflow, and I recommend working with them.
Yeah.
Like I still love CDs so much because I don't know about you, but like I grew up listening to my music on a CD player when I was a kid, like before iPods and stuff. Like the first album I listened to like in full was Dookie by Green Day.
Yeah.
One time when I was sick in like year 5 or 6, I'd listen to Green Day, Dookie on repeat for like 6 hours straight. And I was just there rotting in my bed with a fever, just like, this fucking slaps.
Ingrained.
Yeah.
It was actually the first album I ever really got into as well. For
Oh,
me,
yeah,
it was
yeah.
like a shitty little iPod.
Your debut single, you know, back when
Oh god, yeah.
it started, Rife, right?
No, not right.
Right.
No. So initially our first single we put out was like, there was a pair of singles we put out that were Hollow Heart and Ride Out. We wrote those with like our old drummer and recorded them with like our old drummer. But where this was a really early stage of the band, it doesn't really match how we sound like now in terms of parity and stuff. And now that we're like signed to Penance Music Group and there's like somewhat a very real chance of us maybe getting on some festivals next year and stuff, we kind of just wanted to clear out and have everything on there sort of represent how we want people to perceive us the first time they discover us. Those 2 singles are still up on Bandcamp if anyone wants to check them out. They're at like the back of our catalogue on Bandcamp. But yeah, those were the first like 2 singles that we did.
I was going to say, well, the last time I spoke to you was just after Sutras came out.
Yeah.
As well. How do you think since that came out, it differs from this EP and you guys have evolved from that?
We wrote Sutures after the EP. Like, we've been sat on this EP for like a year and a half, maybe 2 years. Sutures we wrote in like April or May last year, and then we recorded it like the week or 2 after. With Small Pond. Shout out Sam who engineered it.
Thank you, Sam. We love you.
But I think it's like Small Pond Emerging was a really cool opportunity because it let us do a song that's not necessarily going to sound like anything on the EP or anything in like a contained project going forward, but it was a chance for us to do something weird and standalone that lets us get a bit of our like creative oomph out there without it being restricted by the aesthetic of an EP or it needing to be accessible as like a standard single release.
I
Yeah.
suppose
Yeah.
more broadly as well, we were kind of discussing this before you came down. Like
Talk about it.
your sound explores kind of softer, kind of atmospheric soundscapes compared to earlier releases, which might be a little bit more hardcore adjacent.
Yeah.
How would you say kind of sound inspirations? Like where do you kind of pull those sounds from? Where do those foundations begin?
3, 2, 1.
My Chemical Romance.
Yeah.
Getting the obvious one out of the way.
Yeah. It's just really like an obvious pick because obviously like where they're like earlier Bullets reads, we get compared to Bullets, My Chem a lot because of like the more hardcorey, scramsy kind of sound from our first record almost. Forgot Family was in the background.
That's been going the whole time.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But just embracing different like sonic textures and like cleaner passages and stuff is something we've wanted to do for ages and we want to do more going forward as well. So I think like the cleanest and most like stripped back, if you will, songs on like the EP are gonna be, I'm not saying Crestfallen, which are like singles and they're like out for the EP, and then the last 2 songs on it are really loud, like the entire time. They're just really loud.
Yeah.
They're like the heaviest things on there, and the stuff that we've been writing like going forward, including the stuff that we're going to be playing for the first time at Dust on November 15th, an our EP release show, come to it. If this comes out before then. Yeah. But the new stuff that we've been writing has a lot more like instrumental breaks where it stops to like a clean bass solo, or there's like a weirdly like jazzy groove influence, or like reggae beats, or like we've been implementing like a wooden frog and stuff into some of it, and like just playing with different grooves and rhythms and like playing around with dynamics more, because as much as I love this EP, at some points it feels like just a wall of noises hitting you at all time, whereas the stuff going forward feels heavier because of the quieter sections and moments that are in it.
Yeah, we've definitely been getting a lot weirder as it goes on. I feel like we should list like some influences other than My Chem.
Yeah, for sure. Why don't you go?
And a lot of our like earlier stuff, especially Right Out, if you do search that up on Bandcamp, Turnstile was definitely like a huge
absolutely.
influence on a lot of our
I
stuff.
wanted to make like a mix of Turnstile and Vampire Money by Mike. Our
we
influences have become a lot more like nuanced since then.
Yeah, I feel like the influences have gotten a lot more like metalcore as well, especially after Stan joined. I feel like that really pushed us into less of a straight hardcore direction and more.
Yeah, but not like Architects metalcore, where the core doesn't actually mean like the hardcore injections of it. It's like metalcore, like Killing Me Softly, like Poison the Well, things like that. But we still want to keep it really melodic as well, so we've got catchy choruses and stuff, but rhythmically and in terms of playing, it's a bit more stabby, a bit more panic chordy, while still having like those My Chem ass like octave chords and stuff that like harmonize with the main vocals. And
If we hone in more locally on like Brighton's music scene, where do you think you find any inspirations there? Jason?
we're a bit like weird in Brighton, aren't we?
We are a bit weird.
We make
in
like
Brighton.
every bill we go on a mixed bill because we're a bit wacky.
We feel like we don't really fit in with most of the scenes in Brighton, not like exactly at least. We've played a lot of hardcore bills, and
We do well on them, but like
we do well. The response is good, and we love that scene. Like, but there definitely is not that much like throwback like 2000s emo.
Yeah,
around.
But what like influence like bands? What bands would like influence like you, for example, like in
Like
the
in the
Brighton
Brighton music scene, I'd say Leibniz for sure. Fucking love Leibniz. They're incredible.
scene? The bassist sucks though.
Break the third wall.
There's too many walls, man.
Silk Tape, absolutely are a massive.
Yeah,
I can't do it now.
it's fine. They're a massive one for me as well. Like
Yeah, no,
Silk
they're
Tape
massive.
genuinely were like the first grassroots band I ever saw, because back when Henry played their first show in Portsmouth, where me and Fraser are from, Silk Tape were the support for that band, and that was the first time I saw like a grassroots band and thought, wait, I could probably do this as well. if I wanted to. COVID hit, I learned an instrument for the first time, and then, yeah, bam. And I was still, like, a huge Silk Tape fan when they were, like, playing in Brighton, and I moved to Brighton finally, and all that shit. And, yeah, just the mix of, like, my chem and, like, block party-ass, like, rhythms and stuff like that. It's just, like, really, really fun. And George's stage presence really influenced how I perform now. So if you're seeing this, George, you're a sweetheart. I love you.
So going back to you guys as well, what are each of your favourite songs on the EP?
Oh, love this question.
You go first.
Okay. Honestly, I'd probably say Isaac Ape. It changes
Really?
all the time.
Really?
Don't hold me to that. It changes constantly. It's been Crestfallen for ages. It's been Skin Caves In for ages as well. And it's probably the excitement of like that being the most recent thing we released, influencing it to some extent. But I love how like mostly accessible it is for the vast majority of the song, and then it just goes into one of the most insane breakdowns we've ever done.
It's just really unhinged.
It's so silly, and the very end of it, especially.
Yeah. The music video was really fun as well. We shot it with Aaron and
my
Phoebe from like last night in Brighton on like VHS like analog cameras in the woods at like 3 a.m. at Stanmer Park in fake blood. I was like making screaming noises whenever I saw people walking in the distance, just to scare the shit out of them. Like I want to sort of ride the line, ride the wave of like gender fluidity and expression and stuff, because like I don't want to be like a front man. I want to be like a weird little creature that just screams on the floor and then like sometimes looks pretty, or like I don't know, it's hard to explain aesthetically. That's in terms of live though. Like I would say in terms of the music videos and stuff, we do sort of still stick to those like EP aesthetics. A lot of it has been sort of keeping it kind of like 2000s emo-y with like the Converse and like the black and like low saturation, black and white like low saturation background and stuff. There's a fair bit of symbolism in like the press shots that we've done and like the lyrics of the EP and like the kind of loose story behind it. It's not a concept EP, but there's very much recurring themes in the lyrics that are sort of signified by musical motifs or lyrical motifs and things like that I think people will start to pick up on a little bit once it's out. I think my favourite song in the EP is probably that which looms over me, which is the closing track. It's just, it starts off so immediately and high energy compared to like the other tracks on the EP. There's always like a sort of build up with the other ones. With that which looms over me, it just comes in immediately with like gunshot snares, and then it's like this super static dressy kind of like pushed guitar rhythms that are all palm muted, and then it's got this huge breakdown. It's in drop C, and it's like I got like a sub drop on my sample pad. So at live shows, I'm just like boom on the breakdown. It's really fun. But it actually closes off the EP on the same musical motif as the start of Not Safe in My Space, but a semi-toned down, while there's loads of like feedback and synths like droning out and stuff, so it sort of ends it on almost like an endless cycle, but on a more dreary note than where it started, which I'm really proud of.
Would you say the EP in its entirety is more of a journey from the first track?
Yeah.
You know, you want things to blend seamlessly.
Yeah, it's like the songs are really different from each other, but we want it to still feel cohesive, so they've been edited in such a way where they seamlessly flow into each other, but they still are very distinct in how they sound, I'd say.
This comes back to what we were talking about before, about how singles are kind of the meta right now, rather than making
and they were hard
projects
to
for nothing
pick.
coming
The
down.
singles were hard to pick for this, man.
Oh my god, yeah, that was so difficult. The journey to making Not Safe a single
Yeah.
was long and arduous, but we eventually...
I made it long and arduous. No one else had a problem, but I was still bored of the song.
But like, the smartest thing to do for us would probably just be to keep releasing singles for ages, but we really wanted to make a project of some sort, something cohesive, something like that had a journey to it. So we found a way to make it work, I guess.
Like there are like a few people in the band and stuff that were like and ahhing of like if it's too early for us to put out an EP, and like an EP is not like a small thing, and it can be like a really like big like jumping off point almost for like the band. And we were like, well, we've got all of these songs that like we're proud of that don't really sound like what we're writing for like the future, so let's put them all in a package, sew them together with like production and stuff to make it cohesive, and let's just have a crack at making a cohesive, full-on package of songs that we're really proud of, but also sort of demonstrates where we're capable of going in future.
And would you say the EP has been your highlight so far of what you've done, or if there was something else, what would you pick?
In terms of recorded music, or in terms of everything?
Shows, music release, everything.
Shows.
You just have one standout moment.
One standout moment. Honestly, I think it might be the Crestfallen music video.
Yeah.
It's
I was gonna say.
It didn't leak. It didn't leak. Nothing happened. It didn't
didn't
leak.
leak.
It didn't leak.
You saw nothing.
Why the fuck is Rick from Rick and Morty on?
Wait, what?
Holy shit, guys! Look, there's the leak. Look at Rick.
Oh god.
Wait, is it
How
just
did we
playing
get
Rick and
here?
Morty instead of Family Guy now?
Yeah.
Can we put Family Guy back on? I don't want to be associated with this.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
The Crestfallen music video was like the most effort we've put into like an individual piece for the band out of anything so far, including like, I would say, I don't know, just I'd say like in terms of like on top of like tour, doing like our first tour last year, or like doing like the shows up north and stuff, which were like ambitious for us because our first time playing in those towns and it went really great. But sorry, I'm burping. But the Crestfallen music video we filmed in the altar room of St. Augustine Centre, which is where Die Fest was held last year, and it's gorgeous in there. The architecture has these 5 perfectly symmetrically distanced arches in like a semicircle, and there's 5 members in the band, so we had 1 member like in each archway. We had a pair of choreographed dancers. My friend Celeste, who's really talented, did the choreography for it, and then her friend Freya jumped on it as well. And it's just super 2000s, like Helena, Sleepwalking. It's that church emo music video for that emo ballad where it's like about a breakup. Brad wrote it when he was going through a bad breakup. And that song is one that, while it's not my favorite on the EP, I'm very passionate about, and like it is an emotional point for me as well, because I wrote that when I was about to split with my partner at the time too. And seeing that story of like unfulfillment and discontentment in a relationship or situation get that story told through dance so beautifully alongside us performing in such cool outfits with such professional videography. I want to shout out to Cameron from Aussie Media for filming that. But yeah, it's one of my favourite things I think I've ever created, and I'm really proud of what we did with it.
Yeah. Crestfallen, that one always going to kind of have a special place in my heart as well, because I remember like the day we wrote it, like in your room.
Yeah.
And like that I think was kind of the moment where I was like, oh, this one's like good. This is real. Like this, like this feels like it's gonna go places.
You know when a song just writes itself?
Yeah.
Click.
And you don't, like, it just naturally happens, and it's like, you don't stop at Manara about like, oh, what can we do for the bridge, what can we do for this? It literally just wrote itself. Like, I came up with the, like, outro bridge chord progression, like, in front of Brad in, like, 1 or 2 bars, and we were like, yeah, it just does this until the end, and it's just repeating vocal lines get more and more intense, and then it just crescendos, and yeah, I'm really excited for people to hear it. I don't know if this will be out before Crestfallen or if it'll be out after Crestfallen. Crestfallen's out on the 22nd of October. You may have seen that we were threatening to release new music on Instagram.
Sponsored by the Cooperative
Yeah,
Bank.
sponsored by Cooperative Bank, and yeah, Xbox got some coverage on it too. Yeah,
Brags.
I almost hope we get our lawsuit because it'd be really good publicity stunt.
Yeah.
If we get like sued by Co-op Bank, Greg's, New York Times,
Pitchfork.
Xbox, Pitchfork, Rolling
Yeah.
Stone, and it's just a bunch of twinks in Brighton, like
It'd be great because like
that's insane.
they can't take our money. What money?
Yeah, do it, pussy.
And they're overpowered. obviously.
Yeah.
Right. As in reflection, now the EP is kind of packaged and ready to go into the public domain, is there anything that you look back on and think, God, I really wish I did that differently? Or maybe, oh, next time we can do this instead, you know?
I think the songs we wrote were like so old that it was a case of we kind of just wanted to get them out so it would be consistent because we hadn't quite ironed out our sound there, which is why the songs all sound so different from each other. With what we do going forward, we definitely wanted to flow better in a project. If we do a second EP down the line or whatever, or like an LP eventually, that me and Fraser have been brainstorming some conceptual ideas about. Just having it like sonically flow a bit better and have the songs be a bit more similar to each other, but still distinct, I guess. Like it's fun having one that bounces all over the place, but I feel like something more coherent would be quite fun.
Yeah. I have no real regrets. I think the EP's fire. And my only regret is that we didn't make something even more fire, which is what we're going to do next.
Sweet.
There you go.
That was a strong line.
Yeah, that leads so
Fire.
nicely.
Mic drop. Don't drop that mic. Don't drop that mic.
That leads so nicely to what I want to ask. So I was umming and ahhing with it going, okay, 5 years from now, where do you see yourselves? Or, hey,
5 years.
2026, what do you want to do, you know?
Wembley. 5
Wembley,
months, sold
yeah.
out.
Yeah, so next year we're actually playing Wembley. And
Supporting
tickets.
Mike Down.
No, we're
Mike and the
headlining.
supporting
We're
acts.
headlining. We're gonna sell 50 tickets and bankrupt ourselves. No. But for real, next year the goal is festivals. Gonna keep playing out of town because like we love the Brighton scene so much, but we've been having so much fun up north. Where like the queercore scene up there is mental, and like
Pick up Birmingham.
yeah, Birmingham
Big
is
up
mental.
Birmingham,
Yeah,
that was so
you
sick.
played Birmingham recently as well, didn't you?
So good.
Yeah, festivals around town, around the country, maybe abroad potentially next year. We got people in the Japan buying our CDs. We don't play Japan next year, but like
5
there's
years from
people
now.
there that ordered CDs, which is kind of mad.
I genuinely have no idea how that. The internet's a crazy thing.
Yeah, I didn't charge them enough for postage, so we're going out of pocket for that.
Yeah, but like,
That's cool.
we get to say we sold CDs in Japan. That's worth taking a hit, honestly.
Yeah. But like, if we had to guess, like 5 years from now, like, I would honestly be happy if we were still in like a similar position to now, just because I love what we do so much. But I am optimistic and confident in what we've been like writing and stuff. Even if it doesn't see the light of day for a minute, it's music that I'm really confident in, and that we're all really confident in, that we've been wanting to play for ages, but we've been on this EP cycle for too long. And yeah, we reckon it'll hopefully do numbers, and we could see ourselves maybe supporting some bigger bands, playing bigger venues. Like we've played with RTO, Blood Command this year, we're playing with Vianova. Is that the first show next year?
Yeah.
In February, as we're playing with
Excited.
Vianova. So, who knows? What's like vegan alternative to an oyster?
The world's your tofu.
The world is our tofu.
World's your tofu.
Completely not.
Now it's just overheated. Get it.
Has it?
Gets
Oh,
it.
3.
Definitely saved it, yeah?
Bless, huh?
Hold. Hold.